Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. And we're going to go over a little bit of the Trump situation here when it comes down to the acquittal or what's happening to him currently. Now, he hasn't been acquitted yet. He hasn't been done anything has happened to him yet. They're still talking, still deliberating about it. And I know I'm not a lawyer. That's the reason why I'm going to have a lawyer speak for me. And unfortunately, guys, it will not be a lawyer on my channel because I can't seem to get anybody as of yet because I'm too small. However, I will be going over some of the news that will be talking about Donald Trump, my opinions on the matter, and what it could possibly mean for our country, etc., etc. What we have here is that from the Newsweek, it says the Donald Trump acquittal now unlikely, former prosecutor. Now, again, this is something that what we're going to be going over right now. So I will read a bit of this as well. So here we go. It is unlikely that Donald Trump will be acquitted in his hush money case, a former federal prosecutor has said. Neema Romney, now president of the firm West Coast Trial Lawyers in Los Angeles, commented on the former president's chances of acquittal as the jury prepared to enter deliberations. He told Newsweek an outright acquittal is unlikely, but a hung jury is very possible given the political nature of the case. And even convictions on misdemeanors would be a victory for the former president. Trump was indicted in March 2023 following an investigation by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg office on 34 counts of falsifying business records related to hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels by Michael Cohen. Which, by the way, we learned that Michael Cohen also lied that he wasn't going to go against Trump. Also was potentially blackmailed to testify against Trump in general so he doesn't be put in jail. And on top of that, he also stole around $30,000 from Trump's organization. So I don't know if Michael Cohen, their star witness, is really the prime example of what they need, right? So you have Trump's lawyer at the time during the 2016 presidential election in April. Trump, the presumptive 2024 Republican presidential nominee, became the first former president in U.S. history to stand trial in a criminal case. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Romney said the defense's closing argument should have focused on the charges in the case and stayed away from the two star witnesses, Cohen and Daniels. He added that the defense's case was partly built on a claim that the records were personal and not business related. That's why they were not false, and that Trump didn't personally falsify the records, and that even if he did, they were not in furtherance of or to cover up another crime. If the jurors, or even one juror by any of these arguments, that's the win for Trump, he said. Paul DeArneson's criminal defense attorney in Albany, New York, told Newsweek that Trump's lawyer should have assumed that most jurors won't like their client and will want to convict him, adding that they should have used their closing remarks to argue about the justice of the case. The best approach in this situation is to argue why the case is more important than the person, Trump, he said. He continued, why would jurors who don't like him acquit him? Make the case about standing up for the principles of our justice system, our system of justice, like the presumption of innocence and reasonable doubt. Stephen Gillers, a law professor at the New York University, told Newsweek that the weakest link in the government's proof is Cohen, and Cohen's testimony is the sole direct evidence offered to prove that Trump knowingly authorized the fake doc payments. Gillers added that the prosecutors were able to show that there were strong circumstantial evidence in the case. He said circumstantial evidence, contrary to popular myth, can be as strong as or even stronger than direct evidence and can establish guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Which is stupid because no. What we have here is from Nick Sorter saying, just in, Judge Merchant has told the jury they do not need unanimity to convict. This means 4 jurors could agree on the first crime, falsifying records, 4 on the second, tax violations, and 4 on the third Fed election violations. And Merchant would still count that as a unanimous guilty verdict from the 12-member jury, which is insane, right? You can't say that's a unanimous guilty verdict. You need to have all 12 in order to do it. That's how crimes do it, or a majority of it. So I may believe it has to be around 8 people to say yes or no to it, give or take. So that sounds insanity, and you have to have the majority. If you have 12 people and you only have 4, that's not even half. That's not even half, by the way. There's still 2 people away from even half. That's insanity. And what we have here from Jonathan Turley, that he's talking about this. He's the He's pretty much in the courtroom, and he says, "I'm back in the courtroom for the instructions. This judge has stated that he wants to stay close to the standard instructions. The problem is that this case is anything but standard. We will be looking for some of the outstanding issues, particularly on the standard of proof for key elements like unlawful means." Goes on to say, "Yesterday was chilling as the judge allowed the prosecutors to engage in what some of us view as a highly improper arguments that included effectively testifying on facts not in the record. Merchant's view of argument was considerably broader for the prosecution than the defense. For the prosecutors making objections, the strike zone seemed like a strike from dugout to dugout for the defense. It seemed the size of a postage stamp. Judge Merchant is now instructing the jury. He has ruled that the jury will not be given copies of the instructions, but can ask them to be read to them again. Judge Merchant is giving the standard instruction that they can reach inference based on facts, such as inferring that it rained from seeing people in raincoats. It is rather a quaint instruction after Merchant allowed the prosecutors to state as a fact that the federal election violations occurred in this case. There is no such violation in this case, but Merchant did nothing to correct the erroneous impression to carry forward the analogy. Stained Glass was just yelling at the jury that there was in a virtual hurricane on a perfectly sunny day, but the judge remains entirely silent. Merchant has also instructed that they may consider the interest of the witness in the outcome of the case. One of the last convincing parts of those closing argument of the prosecution was the claim that Michael Cohen was attacking Trump and selling merchandise to feed his family. Stained Glass portrayed Cohen was struggling in his luxury multi-million-dollar condo while making millions. It was a far cry from pushing a food cart down Broadway to support his family. So yeah, that's what's going on here, and then it's insane, really. He's going on to say here that Merchant is telling them that they can only consider Cohen's plea to a federal election violation that was only allowed to judge his credibility and offer context. That is a mere week after the prosecutor said repeatedly that such violations were committed as an indisputable fact and that Trump ordered them to be committed. Judge Merchant just said that if they find that any witness has testified with regard to any material fact, that they can disregard the entirety of his or her testimony. It could be called the Michael Cohen charge. It seems clear to some of us that Cohen clearly lied about the key call that he cited for Trump, for telling Trump about the completion of the Daniels deal and his ridiculous claim that they secretly taped Trump for his own benefit, etc. And like I said, this is just all a complete sham. This whole entire court case is on the preface that is corrupt. I mean, when we had Joe Biden go with Robert De Niro to New York, pretty much wanting to debate the Trump case. You can't be doing this. This means you're like, oh, I actively want to debate the case of Donald Trump. No, what are you doing? Like, this means you're actively being political about it. You're making it a political stunt. Whenever you do stuff like this, that means there's some type of cahoots with it. Like, when that makes everybody else be justified on the fact, like, wait, you actually went to the New York and went to, to talk about and debate about the Trump case with a actual celebrity. What are you doing? Why are you even here? Why are you debating about this? Like that at that point, you are making it political, and you're making it sound like it's a political attack. And anybody with half a brain would understand this. So I don't see where this is gonna go. However, I think, in my personal opinion, is that if Trump, for instance, does get convicted of this, it's still a huge win for him. Mostly because that is going to put people into rows. It's going to put Trump into overdrive here. Because why would they put him in jail? If they put him in jail, it's going to be even worse for the Democrats. Especially after Joe Biden showing that he's going out and debating this in New York about the actual Trump case. Making it political. That's insane. That is literally insane. So, I don't know about you guys, but this is what I call a very, very corrupt system, a very corrupt case. I don't see where else to go with this. I mean, again, we're going to have far leftists disagreeing, but put this in your perspective. This is going to be you if Trump doesn't get elected. Because you're not safe in this. Nobody's safe. If Trump is the one that gets arrested here and he's put in jail, that means every single American can be put to jail for any reason that the president was put up for Trump, right? That's insane. God forbid if he gets hurt or attacked in jail. That would be insane. This is not a positive win for the Democrats. This is a negative win, and I think they know that. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.